I mean, I guess the question is, do players, I know you can only speak for yourself and kind of your Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Cardiff City World. Welcome to the breakdown. Your South Wales derby breakdown. Cardiff City 3, Swansea City zip. What an enjoyable day. What an enjoyable game. Cardiff City turned up for a South Wales derby. Stopped the presses. And look, I tell you what, we'll get into it, obviously. Rhys deserves so much credit, and I don't just mean because of what he's been through this week to come and do it and do it to the level he did, but made a couple of big calls with the selections and the tactics. And look at what's gone on. He got it spot on, and not the first time he's done that, by the way. In recent weeks, made a couple of big calls with selections, and I think most people thought yesterday was one for Siopis. He's gone with Joe Rawls. Very, very good. The team as a whole was excellent. So it's going to be a very positive show because I don't think there's much stuff to pick at, and I like that. And look, more power to the people who decided to protest. Unfortunately, I think it's been the message that I felt needed or should be sent by the fans regarding the way the football clubs run. I think it got lost by certain things and personalities and whatever, but that's a shame. But it is what it is. I respect anyone who took time to do it, and good for them. At the end of the day, we all want what's best for Cardiff City, and that's a fact. Swansea get battered everywhere they go. It's also a fact. It's weird, right? Last year, in what I like to call the Ollie Tanner derby, I was at no point was I like nervous or tense or anything like that. And as soon as we started the second half, even before we scored, which was very quick into the half, I was very relaxed because if you look at the stats from this season, Swansea have been absolutely dire in the second half of games this year on the whole. And Cardiff started the second half just exactly what we had been saying all week, exactly what we've been saying about home games. That's how we want them to start. They were all over Swansea like a rash. They were crashing into him, winning the ball back. And it really felt, going into half-time, we were on top. And I said to my mate, we just need to push and press. If we press these, they're going to fall apart because they didn't look comfortable on the ball. We said it before, and I'll say it again. Harry Darling is poor. He just dives and falls on the floor all the time. And I thought, fair play to the referee. The only decision I would question is Rhys's red card. Apart from that, I thought the ref had an excellent game because he didn't fall for their usual bullshit of falling about, trying to get players booked and sent off and all this. I felt that when you considered everything, and I don't even just mean what Rhys has been through in the 48 hours before that game, I just felt like the fact that the players smashed into him, and there's been rumours that something was said as well, but unfortunately he went on the pitch, and it's a red card, and I think referees have to go by the book, don't they? Unfortunately, it's a shame, and I know in the past when players or managers have been punished for certain things, much more serious than that, by the way, They have been given certain special dispensations to off-the-field things and emotion and stuff like that. I hope that he doesn't get a ban, because you could see, like, I felt awful. Like, if you watch it back, the moment when the ref shows the red card, you can see, like, his heart's breaking. It's pure emotion, and he had kept it together for the whole day, behaved impeccably, coached his team impeccably, and he just lost it. And you could just see that was just pure emotion. And you could see the chant about this one's for your dad. It got to him, like he took it to the heart. And good luck, because I got to say, every player, and we're going to go through the squad, because I don't think I'm going to have time, because I'm on the radio in the morning, so I'm not going to have time to do like a player ratings video, which I was hoping to do. I might still try and do it. You'll have to excuse me. I'm shivering. I'm freezing. My Crohn's has been really, really bad this week, and I'm really fatigued. And for whatever reason, I can't stop shaking. I'm absolutely freezing. Must be withdrawal symptoms from watching the highlights of Cardiff dominating Swansea yesterday. Also, just to let you know, and just to let you guys know, because I'm nice like that, Swansea City FC were nice enough to upload the full game. It's on their YouTube channel, if you'd like to drop them a comment after this and say thanks. So we started 4-2-3-1. I think the back five picked itself. I was concerned. I said in my preview that I really hoped he played Rhys Mota. I was worried that he might go with NG, because he seems to have chucked him straight back in. NG's been a bit poor. Rhys Mota was definitely the best option, because they had got a couple of players out wide who can do some damage if you let them. So the back five picked itself, and I thought all of them were impeccable. I thought Darlin was excellent. I thought Gutas was excellent. But I thought Rhys Mota was excellent. O'Dowda obviously goes off injured. Joel Bagan, within 30 seconds of being on the pitch, you could see he's up for it. He's going to go. Some cracking tackles. And I'm not afraid to say I'm wrong. You know, like in the summer, Joel Bagan was on my list of players that we could probably get rid of. At the moment, I think he's like so unlucky to not be starting week in, week out at the moment. And it's probably more to do with the system and O'Dowda being the width on that side than it is anything to do with Joel Bagan's performance. He also has done very well in midfield when he's done that. And then you get to the midfield, and I think every man and their dog was kind of like Siopis. This is the game for him. But not just that. Siopis and Chambers have been such a good combination that everyone, I think, including myself, kind of assumed that he would keep them together. And, you know, some would say it's not a massive call, but it is, because that partnership has been a big part of Cardiff's improvement in recent games. Since that Oxford game, there's been a vast improvement in the way we play, the attitude, the application, and everything. And a big part of that has been the Chambers-Siopis combination. So to split that up in a big derby game is a big call. He made it, and look, you're bringing in the club captain, very experienced, come through the ranks at Cardiff since 16. So it's not like you're bringing in a kid or something, but like it was a big call. And fair play to Joe Rawls. We've said it. I've said it multiple times. I don't think he's one that's going to start week in, week out. But for certain games, certain moments, certain situations, he can be a real important player. And I thought he led by example. And even when we scored, you could see he was telling the defense, he was telling, the strike, he's telling the team, relax, you've got to concentrate, don't let anything stupid happen. Kean Ashford epitomizes everything which we want to see from Cardiff City players, let alone academy players, up and down the wing. The amount of times that he retains wins back possession. I'm going to have a look at the stat, because I'd be really interested in how many times he won the ball back. It just seems like he constantly just goes back. And like I've said before, I think he's got permission to cheat a little bit, in terms of he'll stay a little bit further forward in case we get it on a transition so he can break. But then he'll kind of drop in, and then he'll chase back, and he so often wins that ball back. And I just thought, yeah, look, you're going to get the odd occasion where I think there was one where he's on the right-hand side of the box and he takes a heavy touch and he goes out for a goal kick. You're going to get that with young players where they're a bit excitable and they're a bit like, but that's okay. Like, they're learning. But everything he's doing is just superb. Let's have a look. Touches, key passes, crosses, long balls, shots blocked, dribble attempts. Ground duels, again, by the way, Kean Ashford won 4 out of 7 ground duels and 2 out of 5 aerial duels. So, several interceptions, tackles, etc. Like, for a winger, mate, honestly, it's superb. Ollie Tanner loves a derby. Ollie Tanner gets it. And I'm so pleased to say that, because there was a period under Errol Bullitt and Bullitt's first season where I was starting to think that he might be one who's got the ability, got the talent to go on. And I didn't know whether he had the attitude. But since he got dropped to the 23s for like a week or two under Bullitt, I think his attitude has been absolutely spot on. And I think he's becoming a bit of a leader in that dressing room, if you ask me, like, just going off what I can see. Superb. Another one, 5 out of 7 ground duels. So you're talking like your wingers are winning such a high percentage and such a high amount of tackles because they're working so hard. Can't fault him. You look at his pitch map and he's everywhere, up and down and up and down. And yeah, I think, Ollie Tanner gets it. That's the best thing. The biggest compliment I can say is he gets it. He gets playing for Cardiff City. Another man who gets it, and I thought was probably the best player on the football pitch last night. I know Callum will get all the credit, and rightly so, for the goals. Alex Robertson was absolutely out of this world yesterday. Unbelievable. His positioning, his reading of the game, his long balls, crossing, just everything about his game, his interceptions. Another one, 9 out of 12 ground duels won, 4 out of 5 aerial duels. He is another one, like, who I've said many times now, let's just enjoy him while he's here. Because unfortunately, I cannot see him being at Cardiff for, 10 years or something like that. Superb. 3 key passes as well, by the way. Just absolutely sensational. And, I'm a big Ruben Caldwell fan, and I always think we look more creative with him in the side. But Alex Robertson is deservedly keeping that number 10 spot at the moment. And love it. Love it. Absolutely superb. And then, obviously, the man of the match for the day, Callum Robinson. Could have had a hat-trick for that chance just before half-time. But that first one, well, both of them are just incredible finishes. We've said on the channel, not just me, but all the boys have said, like, Callum Robinson is the best finisher at Cardiff City Football Club. Play him as a 9, and we look better with him, and just didn't give the ball away much. Again, 3 out of 5 ground duels won by a striker. Only lost possession 5 times in a whole game. 2 sensational finishes, and he cleared one off a line. Like, what a performance. And another one, right? I put in a comment to the boys' show last night, but I want to sort of talk about it a little bit. Rena Mota and Callum Robinson, towards the end of last season, looked like they would never wear a Cardiff City shirt again for different reasons, but they looked like they were done and they were going to go in the summer. The turnaround from both in their attitude, their work rate, but then what has come from that is it's the quality that they bring. And we look so much better with a mobile striker who runs in behind because he creates space for others. But it's the attitude for it. And I just said about Tanner and Robertson, they just get it. I think Callum Robinson gets it as well. Like, I look at him, it's never been about ability. He's a sensation. He was a really good finisher. It was just there seemed to be something going on with him and Bullet off the field. That has gone, and to turn it around. How many times do you see that not happen when a player falls out with a manager? Seems to be a bit of an atmosphere and stuff. Yeah. There we go. I will say on the substitutes, Joel Bagan, sensational. I thought Siopis. I missed out Callum Chambers, by the way. Sorry. Callum Chambers, again, just unreal. Another one gets it. Bit of shithousery, bit of a wind-up merchant. Knows when to take a yellow card, knows when to take a foul. Good on the ball. I would love to know how many tackles and fouls he made. Let's have a look. And like Callum Chambers, his distribution or keeping hold of the ball, accurate passes is a bit low for yesterday, really. But you kind of expect that in a derby, and that's mad, right? So Callum Chambers, the defensive midfielder, someone who I thought had a sensational game, he only actually won 1 of 5 ground duels and 2 aerial ones, which is mad. He didn't technically and statistically he didn't make a tackle, but obviously, like we know he did. But that just shows the work rate of Tanner, Robinson, the work that they put in off the ball as well as on the ball. I thought Siopis did a good job just getting around, ratting about, breaking up play, took a couple of fouls. Exactly what we needed to kill the game, not to give them any opportunity. Because if they get one back with 20 minutes to go, it gives them hope. We've conceded some late goals recently. Of course, that makes it more difficult. I thought Ruben as well, didn't really have much to do on the ball. I think he made 3 passes or 2 out of 3 passes, but a lot of work off the ball. He was sprinting around, making sure he was cutting off the passing lanes and pressing, and he took off from what Robertson and him and Salic did exactly what Robertson and Robinson were doing, not making it easy, getting about the pitch, making them have to go side to side, backwards, not letting them play through you. Another one who won, only had 2 ground duels, but won them, aerial duels, won them. And people are quick to criticize Ruben. I've said it before, but he, as well as being creative, he's not the finished article, but he's got one of the highest stats for winning the ball back in the attacking areas. So it is what it is. Mate, I thought he likes a derby, doesn't he? Don't think he likes Swansea very much. He's always seems to be bang up for it. He was only on for 4 or 5 minutes, but put himself about, won a good free kick. And then lastly, new signing Yusuf Salic. Didn't have a great deal to do on the ball, but I love the fact that he was not afraid to get involved, put himself about in the scuffle, holding 3 players back on his own. He's a big boy. And I think he covered more ground working. Like I said, him and Ruben were across into the spaces to close the space. It might have only been 5, 6, 7 minutes, but he ran more and put more effort in than I've seen Kanga put in all season. So that's a good start. Good start. I'm really, honestly, really so happy to see them all turn up like that. But what's the most important thing now is they have to follow it up on Tuesday at Millwall. It's a very winnable game, and it means nothing if they go and lose to Millwall and put in a very subpar performance. I don't expect Joe Rawls will start. Even I think he's got a knock anyway, but you'd expect him to be rest. Siopis comes in. That doesn't weaken you too much. I think Bagan will come in on the for O'Dowd if he's injured. But other than that, I don't see him making any changes. I'll have a think about it before the preview, but I don't. Maybe he goes with Salic. I don't know. It's an interesting one, isn't it? But yeah, just an all-round excellent performance, and fair play to Omar Rhys in some of these recent games where we've improved. He's made some big calls. And one of my fears was when it went to 2-0 was that we were going to sit back. And Swansea had like a little 2-minute period where they had a chance off a header. And I was like, oh, don't sit back. Just keep playing. You've got Chambers sat in the middle, so you don't need to worry too much. Just be compact. We're defending well anyway. Because Swansea created jack shit all game. And I was pleased because I felt, there's been games where he's gone 5 at the back or he's gone really deep, really early. And he didn't do that yesterday. He stuck with it because we defended so well. There was no need to change the system. Just keep doing what you're doing. It was huge, huge. Shout out to Turner as well. Loving him. Young academy kid, isn't he? Hates the Swans. Let's have a look at some of these comments. James, Swansea get battered everywhere they go. Alex, Blues. 3-0 on your big day out. Curtis, welcome, mate. Shout out to the new members as well. I can't remember the names off the top of my head. Will, and I think I'm going to say Owen. I'll check that now. But welcome. And incidentally, you've joined at a good week. Got the Rumour Mill podcast Tuesday. Might be a little bit later because I've got something going on early doors, so it'll be about 11 o'clock in the morning, I think. But we've also got the first retro watch along for the members, which is with a special guest, Mr. Andy Campbell, as we get stuck into the Millennium Stadium playoff between us and QPR. Me and Andy will be watching like the extended highlights of that and having a chat. And looking forward to it. Bonus members contact. If you aren't a member, please do join. Either at patreon.com/AcePodcastNation or join on the YouTube channel, Cardiff City World. Helps us out so much. Like literally is every single member is like a godsend, a lifesaver, which is why we're trying to produce as much members only content as we can as a thank you to you all. Big shout out to you all. What did I see there? Luke said this one's for your dad. Omar Rhys said this one's for your dad. A touch of class, 100%. James says tactical genius. Yeah, it was very, very impressive, mate. He's learning on a job and he's learning. You've got to say that. Alex says we are going up. Go on, the boys. Get up. Graham says the hours, the weeks, the months, the years of garage was all worth it. Garbage, I'm thinking you mean. Gavin says Swan's grip in this fixture has definitely turned. Their players know this and it showed a full-time whistle. Yeah, they were not happy, were they? They were very frustrated throughout, in fact. But yeah, particularly at our place now, that we've got to just take them the decent second half from the game at their place earlier in the season and put in a performance like that and a performance like yesterday at their place, because that's 2 years in a row now at home. We've played them off the park in a big way. Jeff says, that was the best trip ever. Knackered my knee walking too much. Yeah, mate, I hope you enjoyed it. What a day. James says, straight red. If the manager or staff go onto the pitch, the ref had no choice. Yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it, mate? Yeah. And thank you for being a member, of course. Paul, also a member, says, Rhys credit where it's due. Rena Motor, Chambers, Bagan, Ashford, all players he's turned around some way, shape or form. Every player who got on the pitch, thank you. You did us proud. Definitely, mate. James says, did Franco say anything? I haven't seen him say anything after the game. I thought Tom Ramasol in the post-match kind of hinted that something was said. I have no idea, though, mate. And you added that reaction seemed a bit over the top. I know he had an emotional week, but wondering if anything had been said. I would imagine so, but you just can't. I think it could have just been as simple, mate. Like he just bumped him, he lost his rag, and went. It's just been like such an emotional week. Lou says 2 managers sent off in against the Jacks. Yeah. Jonathan, also a member, says luckily we didn't get a few more reds because a few of the bench went on to try and stop him. Yeah, I mean, technically you could have, couldn't you? Alex says he hasn't got a ban, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have a look at that. Rolls and Reno were immense, Andrew says yesterday. Yeah, mate, I thought everyone was, to be fair, but yeah, you're right. Jonathan says, I watched Swansea one not long after I saw you comment on there. Yeah, Swansea fans did not seem impressed that they put up the full 90 minutes. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, by the way, but crack on. It was good. Bullet showed a lot of faith in Bagan. Yeah, he did, mate. He did, because I think the general feeling was that he was probably going to be sold. And I think he's really unlucky to not be starting at the moment. And probably, well, the only reason is he's not starting week in, week out is that Callum O'Dowd has probably been one of our best players and certainly one of the biggest leaders in the group. And he's keeping Joe Bagan out. So if Callum O'Dowd is injured, I don't think we're too worried about Joe Bagan coming in. And that's exciting in itself because you've got Joe Bagan who's been there and done it now. And, you know, he's young, but he's played a bit of first-team football. You've got Louis Giles coming up, who's young. Bagan's been there and come through exactly what he's going to be going through, waiting for game time, you know, young, playing for your hometown team, etc. It's only a good thing. JT says 5 goals, 2 clean sheets in the last 2 home games against the Jacks. Get up. Andrew says, in the car park after the game, Rose was limping. Think he'd be rested for Millwall. Yeah, mate. Would not be surprised. Robinson was excellent yesterday, says Curtis. Good thing he returned from suspension at the right time. Yeah, God. Thank God for the FA Cup game, mate. Gavin says, Robbo again. Holton says, I don't think we need any more signings. I'll go with the team, to be honest. It's been nice to have a couple of options off the bench. Like Willock didn't even get on yesterday. Jonathan says, offload Mate and El Ghazi, bring in a fast winger. Do you know, earlier I forgot that we had El Ghazi. It's mad, don't it? He went from starting to not even being in the squad. Johnny Baxter says, massive, massive win. Means nothing, though, if we can't kick on from here and go on a run. Yeah, 100% agree with that, mate. Millwall Tuesday is a big game because if you couldn't get another similar type performance on Tuesday and get 3 points, you start to really get a bit of momentum. If you get a draw or a loss, it kind of just kills the momentum a little bit. I said yesterday, if we had that mentality, that attitude, and that quality all season, we'd be in the top 8. But there we go. Here's what it is, isn't it? Holton said, well, I'd like a winger and a ball playing 6'8", perhaps. Yeah, football fans, innit? We always want more, but we do look like we got a few options now. I do wonder whether he might give Callum Robinson a rest and play Salis, but to me, strikers, and Callum is a bit streaky. Like, he tends to go on little runs. He'll score like a few games in a row, and then he'll miss a couple, like won't score for a bit. And he's on fire, so I think you got to play him. We need goals, we need points. Vincent Taylor says, what a team yesterday. Hope this is the turning point for us from coming good, starting to climb the table. Hope so, mate. Turner, the third choice keeper. Yeah, mate. Superb. Bagan outstanding, says Holton. Tanner got his usual derby goal contribution. Sloper Row Blues, welcome, mate. Says Cardiff City TV commentary was class. That little weasel, Joe Allen. What was he thinking? Looking forward to Saturday now, says Holton. Graham says, did any City players get a red at the end? No, I don't believe so. I think Rawls got a yellow card after the game. But apart from that, I don't think so. Not sure. I don't think so. This doesn't show up on any of the sites that there was. Vincent says, Rena Motor, excellent. Chambers, Robertson, Tanner, Ashford, Robinson, all linking up well. Yeah, we look good. And Robinson is the one, like, he's the one who gets the fit, like, finishes it. Keane's chipped in with a few goals recently. Tanner could do with a goal now. And then, you know, if you can get like Salic and Ruben scoring off the bench, Willock, all just chipping in with a goal here and there. We look dangerous. We created chances yesterday as well. Jonathan says, Millwall might be better for Robinson if he's fit. Cooper for Millwall's a big boy. And Salic might find that game tough. It'll be a shock to his system, mate. Anyway, like, the championship is so quick. and so physical compared to other leagues, the European leagues. Like, I think it's a big ask putting him in there to start. He's a young lad. Like, let's just blood him in 20 minutes here and there for a bit. Let him get settled in it. Not just on the pitch, but let's let him get settled in Cardiff and in Wales and stuff. Yeah, that was my thought, Jonathan. He says, finally, the league, we took the lead and didn't sit back. And that was my biggest worry, was that we were going to sit back and invite pressure. And we've conceded a few late goals recently as well. Vincent says, we need to carry on the pretense against Millwall. Derby Saturday is a possible 6 points. It's it'd be a massive, massive 6 point as well. Martin, welcome, mate. Member says, in fairness to Rhys, he insisted on a higher press first half, and the rewards were there to be seen second half. Yeah, that is exactly what I was saying at halftime. If we press these, they'll fall apart. We just started to do it before halftime, and we got some chances from it, and they struggled for that 10 minutes after the second half started. They really struggled. They couldn't retain the ball, and we just kept winning it back and creating more and more chances, more and more attacks. It's encouraging for going forward. Like, if we could press like that and play like that on the transition, very difficult to stop, because we've got a lot of players who, if you give them space, they will cause problems. You know, if you win the transition and you give the ball to Tanner one-on-one or Ashford one-on-one or Robinson or Colwell or Willock, they're one-on-one with a defender. They're going to do well because they're skill sets. Rhys Lasky, welcome, mate, says, I don't think anyone had a bad game. 7 or more out of 10 for me, I'd say. Yeah, pretty much, mate. Pretty much. You know, Callum Robinson gets man of the match because he gets the goals, he clears one off the line, and he was excellent. But for me, I still stand by Alex Robertson was the best player on the football pitch yesterday. Just stands out, you know. So let's talk about the Swansea performance. Why not? Let's have a bit of fun. There was one player on the Swansea team who I thought had a really good game, and I was really glad when they brought him off, and that was Josh Key. For some reason, he didn't do what he does normally. So normally he tucks into midfield to create those like central overloads. And when you look at his heat map, he only done it once or twice. And when he did do it, he did create a few issues. But our midfield was so strong and so compact because Ashford and Tanner worked so hard. It was difficult for him to create an overload in the middle and then get it out wide. You know, Ronald was absolutely anonymous. You know, all of them really. Grimes was rubbish. Joe Allen, you know, even Franco is a quality player. It's just absolute poor. You know, Harry Darling, I don't get what people see in him, to be honest. Like, I know we don't like him, but like, I think he's so poor. He constantly gives the ball away. If you touch him, he falls over. But yeah, Josh Key was the one who I thought stood out, and I was surprised that they didn't go with the usual tactic of inverting. On their manager, part of me admired his honesty, but as Jonathan says here, I don't think he's going to be at Swansea long. He's been heavily linked with the West Brom job, which obviously went to Tony Mowbray. Can't even get me started on that one. But talk about Luke Williams' post-match interview, says Jonathan. He's definitely losing that dressing room. He threw them under the bus, all of them. He did throw them all under the bus. But I have to be honest, mate. They were real poor. Real poor. You know, they brought that kid on at the end, Parker. He's only like 18 or something. But, like, Darling and Kabanga, I don't think were fit. So more fool them for playing a couple of players. Maybe play one of them, but you don't play both if they're not 100% fit. But I thought they were both really poor. And I quite like Kabanga. I know some people disagree. I think he's decent. But, like,
just got run ragged. They all did. Cullen was. I don't really see the fuss with Cullen. Like, he does work hard, for Wales, and he's aggressive, but like, I don't really see it like what people seem to see in him, apart from the work rate. Like, I really don't. He's not a striker. He's more of a 10. And I think all of our number 10 options offer more than him. Whether that be Willock, Robertson, Ruben, I think they're all better than him. But he does rat about a bit and he works hard. But even that yesterday he didn't really do, just chasing the ball. Joe Allen, obviously a legend of Welsh football, but I don't know what he was up to yesterday. The usual, lots of little sideways and backwards passes, but it was just picking a fight at the end. Bad losers, isn't it? Got to lose. You have to lose with dignity, is my opinion. Win with dignity, lose with dignity. Yeah, don't forget David Turnbull as well, quality midfielder. And we got a lot of options now. Isaac Davis is the one for me, because if we can get Isaac up to speed quickly and fit, I think it takes the pressure off Callum Robinson a little bit, because I think they can both do that role. They can both press and get in behind. And I got high hopes for Isaac Davis in this system under Omar Risa with the players we've got. And suddenly you could be in a position where, like, you could rest Callum Robinson and put Tanner or Salic or Isaac Davis in there. You could, you can rest Robertson or rest Rawls and put Robertson back, be a bit more attacking, and put Ruben in the 10. And, you've got Kean, you could give Kean a rest and put Willock on. There's a lot of options there. And that's without really any youngsters. Was there any youngsters on the bench yesterday? No. Well, Fish, technically, I suppose, is still a youngster, but not academy graduate. But it was nice to say, we had Ruben, Joel, Bagan, Joe Rawls effectively came through the academy. He joined at 16, but whatever, he came through the club as a kid. You had Bagan, Ashford, and Ruben, all homegrown to some extent in the squad and getting on the pitch. I thought that was great. Let's have a look what else we got. Williams playing the atmosphere. Yeah, I think once that first goal went in, but even coming into half time, if you look at Robinson when he has that chance just before half time, I think it's Darling goes absolutely bananas with Franco maybe, or Ronald, one of the right-hand side players, for not giving an option, and then we win the ball back, get in behind. So they weren't happy. And then as soon as we scored one, they just went to pieces. Don't know what he's doing. The Timon, is it, who plays the ball back? He's not even looking where he's passing it. Darling, I think, or Kabanga, whoever it was, the centre-back, was not ready for it in any way. Goes to a side. Great finish by Robinson. Takes it nice and early. And that was the key to the second one, was he got it under control and then he hit it while the keeper was still moving. So difficult for goalkeepers to save. It's a great finish. The thing with Williams is a few of you saying he'll be gone on Monday. I think they'd be mad, mate, if they... I think they'd be mad if they got rid of him. I got to be honest. He was literally on the brink, or he was being interviewed or linked with the West Brom job last week. So he's highly thought of. I'd be surprised if they sack him, but I agree with what Jonathan said. When you throw the players under the bus like that and you put the blame on the players and you say they couldn't cope with the atmosphere and you couldn't, you can't do this or that, it goes one of two ways, They either will give him a reaction midweek or they'll turn on him. It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. Jonathan says, after Grimes got booked, he turned into a third centre-half and hardly got out of his own half. Mate, they barely got out of their half in the second half. And they were really poor, mate. Really poor. And that second half was as comfortable as last year's game at our place. At no point in the second half was I like, oh, they're going to get one. We're going to sit. Because we didn't sit back. Martin says Isaac was on the pitch celebrating, so he should be good. Jonathan says Williams is apparently scouting players in Holland. I wonder if they're asking for his scouting reports before they lay him off. It's like one of two ways, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like they'll either give him a reaction or they're not. Vincent says Swansea couldn't deal with us. As soon as we scored our second goal, they went and their heads dropped and it was game over. Paul says big crowd yesterday, which I think helped us on the pitch. Jack players didn't want to be there. They were ready to get back in their caravans home. But we need those big crowds every game. And that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. That's the other thing. Grimes caught on TV telling his players he's fucking shit after Gutas scored was funny. But that goal is actually it was Cullen who makes the mistake. He mistimes his jump, goes over him. His job at the near post is to be the one who attacks the ball. Completely mistimes his jump, goes over him, and what a header by Gutas, by the way. Fuck me. What a header that is. Incredible. Paul says big crowds will get us points. Couldn't agree more, mate. That atmosphere is what you need. And I believe the way we started that second half, the pressing and the aggression, that's how we should start every home game. Make teams uncomfortable and don't let them settle. I've said it so many times. On that, so Andrew makes a point about the Swansea lot. Their players let the manager down. They weren't up for it. And we know what that's like, don't we? Because we've done it so many times, especially going to their place particularly. But, you know, in recent years, our derby form has been shocking. Our derby performances have been terrible. And we truly, like, I've bottled a couple recently. And I thought that's what they did. Go back, when you watch Gutas' goal, watch the angle from inside the goal or like behind the goal, the close-up one. Watch Ollie Tanner. What a fucking legend. He's Harry Darling and he just moves him out of the way. Beautiful. Love to see it. Jonathan says Timon was supposed to be marking Gutas. Let him run. It's still a mismatch even if he'd stuck with him. Yeah, Tanner was superb the way he eased Darling off the ball. Jeff says there, for the Gutas goal, Tanner should have had an assist credited for that well-timed, double-handed push on Darling. Yeah, just eased him out of the way, didn't he? I think what you got to bear in mind, because Omar Rhys really likes to keep the same 11, and I can see why you'd want to keep that same 11, maybe change rules for Sayo because of injury, yeah, or age or whatever. Those players emotionally and mentally and physically, they must be absolutely knackered. And I think the risk is you go, no, let's just go again. And it's only 3 days later. Away at Millwall can be tricky. And when you've got a bench of, you know, we can bring in Bagan, Siopis, Ruben, Mate, Salic, NG, Fish, Willock. I'm not saying bring them all in, but I'm just giving you the options. That's just the options that we had on the bench yesterday. El Ghazi, you know, a couple of the youngsters, Reindorf nearly fit. Atete didn't make the squad. So I guess what I'm saying is I hope we don't run these players into the ground off the back of that performance. I don't think O'Dowda or Rules will start, although O'Dowda seems to recover quite quickly from knocks, but it looked like a hamstring. So I doubt those two players. So you'd expect Bagan and Siopis to come in. But who do you rest? If you've got to rest a couple, Millwall, Tuesday, because it's quite quick after it, who would you give a rest to? Who would you bring into the starting 11? Just to get some fresh legs in there. Simic was on the pitch as well. Yeah, we must be selling some players. Because if you look at it, right, that bench yesterday, Bagan, Siopis, Colwell, Mate, Salic, Howarth, NG, and Fish, and Willock. That's no Atete, no Simic. Turnbull's obviously injured.
Isaac Davis, El Ghazi, Ramsey. I think I'm missing someone as well. And then you got the youngsters as well. Tsunoda's injured, isn't he? After he had a really big performance for Kortrijk last week, and then he's out injured this week. Unfortunate, isn't it? Everyone I speak to who would kind of know says he's decent. He just can't stay fit. Out till Feb. Be interesting what we do now, because I don't think Simic can go out on loan now, can he? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he can't go to another club, so we have to keep him. So he's an option. I don't know what he's like. Like, I only know from what we've all sort of seen in the Champions League and stuff. But he was scoring goals. He scored a few goals in the Champions League, not loads, but a couple. Like, he can't be terrible. Can't be worse than Kanga. Here's imagine paying $3 million for Kanga after watching him turn out those performances that he has for us, and thinking that's the striker we need. $3 million, that's a bargain. Crazy, but I'm glad it happened, because that was meant we could get Salic in. I already like Salic just because of the way he worked. Like, that goes a long way for me. If you've got the right attitude, it's a big start for me, because the rest will fall into place. But you've got to, first and foremost, you've got to work hard, and you've got to earn the right to play. And he looked, only 5 minutes, so I hold judgment, but he looked like he had something about him. And he got stuck in when his teammates were having it. So that's always good to see. If you have got any questions, get them in. And then, Martin says Perrett must be close to having a crack at first team level. There's a few of them, mate, who must have been on like the brink of getting an opportunity. But we've got so many players. The squad we had yesterday didn't include Tete, Isaac Davis, Simic, Turnbull. There's so many. Ramsey. Like, if everyone's fit, there's going to be some big names missing out on a squad place. We must be sending someone out on loan. Salic just looks like a poacher. He scores a lot of goals inside the box, gets in the right good position. That's all right. Don't mind that at all. He's a big lad. His link-up play is good. His ability to get his head up and play some passes is good. Just got to put the ball in the box for him. Vincent says, yes, I agree. Don't let any team settle. Starting games need to finish strong. I want us to start like we started that second half is how I want us to start every single home game. And I really believe that'll make a huge difference to the atmosphere and to the results. Paul says, if you're a player, are you going to want to rest? I think O'Dowda for Bagan, we might see. And either Fish come in for Darland or Gutas. Tanner looked like he was hobbling after that tackle. I think you have to consider resting players with games so close together. Simply, it's like 3 days, and it's such a big game, such a big emotional drain as well as the physical drain. So I think we'll have a look. Right, if you've got any questions, get them in. Because as I look to wrap them up, we've got loads of stuff coming this week on the channel, including Cardiff City phone-in tomorrow night. That'll be good. We'll have preview Tuesday tomorrow night as well for the Tuesday game. We'll have the rumour mill Tuesday for members, as well as there'll be a video of some sort. The flower hour might be on Tuesday. Actually, I'll have to speak to the boys on after the game. I don't know. We'll see. We'll work it out. But there's going to be, Cardiff City content 7 days a week for fans, by fans. And that is a fact. Got some really interesting stuff coming up. and I'm really looking forward to rewatching. We're watching the extended highlights of the QPR Millennium Stadium game with the man who scored the winning goal, and kind of just talking about what it was like in the dressing room at that time, because they were under a shitload of pressure at that point, like real pressure. Because if we hadn't have gone up that year, I always describe it as the goal which saved the club, because I think we were in real trouble, and we still had to sell players. So yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? But yeah, really looking forward to that. Have the club responded to the protest at all? Well, mate, how can I word this? I was told that in the build up to it, they were definitely not happy about it, a bit of concern. But I'm told the way that it has been portrayed within the media and stuff like that, they're not bothered at all. Unfortunate, mate, but I think I understand the logic of having like someone who's got a big social media profile there, but every man and their dog knows that they're not a Cardiff City fan and they've never been to a Cardiff City game, and it's like, I think it dilutes the protest and the message for me. And from what I heard, they're not that bothered now, or they're certainly less concerned than they were before going into the game. It's a shame, because a lot of the reasons to protest, I really believe in. And I really believe that the football club needs to be run better. It's just, I don't know. It's difficult. Matt says, red or brown sauce on your bacon sandwich? Red, mate. Red sauce with bacon, brown sauce with sausages. Come on. Yeah, I think they had a decent turnout. A few hundred. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they had a decent turnout. I do like a mixed one, Jeff. Bit of red and a bit of brown sauce in the same one. Brown sauce on sausages, red sauce on bacon. That's a fact. Do you know what, though, right? Very quickly on Vincent Tan. I see a lot of people say, oh, have you got another multimillionaire to fund us and to pay us? And yeah, no, of course. Like, I don't think anyone's saying, like, he's not putting money into the football club. He clearly is. I think what people are saying is they want to see the football club run like a proper football club, put some football people in charge, so he's investing his money better into the football club. Better for him. Idiotic. Yeah, bang on, mate. Levi Roots, reggae sauce is the goat. Absolute goat. Making me hungry now. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll have a range of live shows, videos. I think we've got a couple of scout reports coming out on different players that we've been linked with. Like I said, we've got a couple of member shows with Andy Campbell, and got the Rumour Mill on Tuesday. We've got more reaction to the South Wales Derby. Every single night there will be something, whether it's a live show, a video, and it is what we shall do. I do have a little bit of an update on that subject, which will be on Tuesday's podcast. And away we go. Guys, keep the faith. As I told you a couple of weeks ago, the Blues are staying up. Take it easy, my friends. Thanks for the support. If you can become a member, because every single one makes such a massive difference to us. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all. Come on. I tell you what. Well, stop. Wait. Just before we go, I wanted to just say, let's play this one more time.